This is my boring life. Welcome to the show. Well. Welcome back to My Boring Life. This is episode 2. So it was a rough day yesterday. I did some hiking in Soledad Canyon. I won't say it was a rough day yesterday. It was a rough day today, waking up, getting going. My body is toast. I think I got a little bit too much sun yesterday. So I didn't feel like cooking or anything. So we are going to pick up a free pizza from Domino's. But I figured while we were going, I'd tell you a story about meeting Janet Jackson and boxing. So how does boxing tie into meeting Janet Jackson? So this was back in, had to be 1994, working at the Pine Knob Amphitheater in Michigan. Janet Jackson was coming through for a concert. When you worked for the facilities out there, Pine Knob Amphitheater and Palace of Auburn Hills, you had a little thing you could do. You could show up a little early, and if a sound check was going on, it was all right to go down, take a seat, and watch the sound check. So I got there a little early on this day, and Janet Jackson was doing her sound check, and I went maybe about the 10th row, somewhere around there, and sat in the middle and was just watching her sound check. Now you have to understand, back in 1994, we're talking the Jacksons, Michael Jackson. So anybody in the Jackson family is music royalties. So yeah, I was fanning out. I wasn't making it obvious, but I was a fanboy back then for sure for anything Jacksons. So I'm watching, and Janet walks to the side, and I see her go down off the stage to the side, and then walks out and walks in the row behind me and sits directly behind me over the right. One seat over behind me to my right. And I'm like nervous as all hell, because I've got Janet Jackson within arm's reach of me. And I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing there? And she taps me on my right shoulder, and I turn around, and she says, how does it sound to you? How does it sound to you? In that typical Jackson family soft-spoken voice. And the words out of my mouth were, it sounds great. And she's like, good. And that was it. That was, sat there in an odd silence probably for another 30 seconds, and then she got up and walked back, and I looked, and she looked, waved, she waved back, and that was so cool. So yeah, that was my meeting Janet Jackson story. But now, how does Janet Jackson and boxing tie into each other? Well, back then, Michael Moorer was fighting out the Kronk's Gym in Detroit, Michigan, and he had just won the heavyweight championship of the world, and he was the first left-handed heavyweight champion ever, I believe. So it was a big deal. So here it is. It's the night of the concert, for the Janet Jackson concert. Let me pick up my pizza and I will finish this story. I know I said it was a free pizza, but I always like to throw a tip even if I'm coming to pick it up. Just because these guys don't get paid enough. It's rough sometimes working in the food industry. My second job out in the military was at Wendy's. Hey, picking up pizza for... Yeah, so my second job was at a Wendy's, and I worked there for about a month, and that was it. Working in the food industry is not for me. That's for you. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate that.
You bet. You take care, man. You too. All right, so that's why I always give a tip when I'm picking up, even at a drive-thru window, even if they're not delivering it to me. But on to the story. Michael Moore. I was working front of stage on stage right, and all of a sudden I see a big crowd walking down the aisle towards me, and in the middle of this crowd is just this big dude. And as he gets a little closer, I've always been a boxing fan, and I had seen the fight where he won. I see it's Michael Moore. And you still gotta have a ticket, right? So here he comes, and right to me, right in front of me. I reached my hand out to shake his hand, and I said, "Congratulations, champ. You got a ticket?" And he said, "No, I just wanted to see Janet up close for a little bit." And I said, "You know how it is. They're going to get at me, but go ahead and go up to the front right there on the side. And just, you know, for a song or two. Don't hang out there too long. Because, hey, man, I don't want to lose my job." And he's like, "I completely understand." And shook my hand again, and man, did he have a huge hand. I mean, he was the heavyweight champ of the world, and he looked every bit of it. So he shook hands, he went up stood there, and he was a man to his word. He stood up there for about 2 songs, went on back. I wasn't in range to talk to him as he was walking back, but he did see me, flashed me a little hi sign or a peace sign, like thanks, waved back. And that is how Janet Jackson ties into boxing in my life. But since we're on the subject of boxing, tonight, that's one of my few guilty pleasures, is I like to watch boxing. So tonight is the Devin Haney against Jorge Linares fight in Las Vegas on the DAZN platform. I know by the time this is released, that fight will already be done and gone. But in my boring life, that is part of my few guilty pleasures that is exciting for me. It may be boring to others, but hey, that's what I get to do. So I will be watching that tonight. But right now, it's pizza time. I really appreciate you guys watching. Amazing Fun Fit and Travel. We'll do videos on just about anything. But until the next time, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next video. Wink. Take care.